Wonders of the world. What are the most interesting places to visit in the world? Here are some ideas. Victoria Falls is between Zambia and Zimbabwe in Africa. It is the biggest waterfall in the world. It is 108 meters high. It's best to see it from the sky. You can swim near the waterfall, although it can be dangerous. The Nile is the longest river in the world. It passes through Egypt. It has two main parts, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. Many millions of people in Africa depend on this huge river. It's a very famous river in history and stories. Lake Baikal in Russia is the world's biggest and deepest freshwater lake. It's the oldest one, too. It's almost 25 million years old. Although pollution in the area is quite serious, the lake is still a beautiful and peaceful place. You should visit it soon before it gets too dirty.
Welcome back, everyone. Right now, we are going to dig in and start the reading portion of our lesson. Now, what's the name of our article? The name of our article for today is Wonders of the World. Now, I don't know about you, Becca, but I definitely want to see these. I can't wait to see the wonders of the world. What about you?
Oh yeah, these places do sound pretty amazing to me. Who can't resist seeing the largest waterfall in the world, the largest lake in the world, or the longest river in the world? I know I can't.
And yes, all of these places are famous too. Yeah, I heard about them before from friends, and I also heard about them by reading about them in travel books.
Of course, the article isn't called Secret Wonders of the World now, is it? If something is famous, it means that it is well known and usually well liked. So for example, you could say, Adam Levine is a famous singer.
Yes, that's true. These places do sound awesome, but hey, let's slow down and take a deep breath. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about these places one at a time. Now, the first place mentioned in the article is Victoria Falls. Now, Victoria Falls is the biggest waterfall in the world. It's located in Africa, and get this, Victoria Falls is 108 meters high. Now, let's say you're planning to go visit Victoria Falls. If that's the case, the best time to go is in May and June. So make sure you plan accordingly. Now, they say you can swim near the waterfall, but I don't think I'm going to because, you see, I'm not a very good swimmer.
Maybe you could if you were a serious swimmer, but it still sounds pretty dangerous to me. If I were to go, I think I'd stick to riding horses there instead. If someone or something is serious, it's very important and requires a lot of energy and attention. We might say he is serious about school.
Now, the next place mentioned in the article is the Nile River. And the Nile River is the longest river in the world. Now, the Nile is pretty famous around the world because of its importance to the civilizations that surround it, or the civilizations that have been founded on the banks of the Nile. Apparently, a lot of people depend on the Nile for both water and transportation. Now, if you depend on something, it means that you need that thing in order to survive, to function, or in order to do something. For example, all of my friends can depend on me. And that means, yes, I'll never ever let my friends down.
The Nile also passes through Egypt, where the famous Egyptian pyramids are. If someone or something passes something or passes through something, it means it moves or goes into, through, or past a certain place. Like, I passed the bakery on my way here this morning.
So you walked by it, you didn't go in
No.
and buy a baguette?
I wanted to, but I didn't.
Now me, I think I'd like to visit the Nile in either February or March. Now besides the fact that it's the best time of year to go, it's also a good time to go sailing on the Nile. Now okay, so we've got 2 wonders down, okay? What comes next?
Well, the last place they talk about is Lake Baikal in Russia. It's the world's biggest and deepest lake. It's also really old, almost 25 million years old to be exact. If you say something is the deepest, it means it is deeper than anything else. You can't dive as deep as you can in this lake anywhere else in the world. So for example, you could say, the deepest I can dive is 8 meters.
Now the only problem with Lake Baikal is that there's a lot of air pollution there right now. So I'm not sure it's a great place to visit right now. Now if you visit someplace, that just means you go on a short trip there. That's all there is to it. For example, I went to visit my grandma last month for her birthday. I didn't stay there for a year, I just stayed there for a short period of time. I visited her for her birthday.
If we do visit someplace, we need to remember to take care of it as if it were our own home. In Lake Baikal, it's popular to go camping and fishing from June to August. If you're doing those activities, it's important to care for and protect nature and the environment. If we keep on polluting it, we won't have any of these beautiful places to visit anymore.
I agree. We all need to do our part so we can continue enjoying nature, especially if we want to keep visiting these places and doing things like horseback riding, sailing, camping, swimming, or fishing.
All right, that's about it for the wonders of the world. Thank you all so much for listening to us discuss these amazing places. I know we all want to visit someplace cool right now, but stay put because our grammar section is coming up next.